What is up, everyone? Rush Hour podcast. And actually, we took a week off. Another week, and we've got a lot of news to catch up on. You've got SpaceX is building a moon city. What's up with that? Instead of Mars, we're going to the moon now. I don't know. Amazon Ring had a Super Bowl ad that had crazy backlash. Let's talk the details on that. And then the last insanity, Anthropic closes 30 billion Series G. Think about
Sheesh.
30 billion, doubling its valuation from 183 to 380.
Let me hold some of that. Let me hold some of that cash.
Let's jump right into it. Let's start with the SpaceX announcement. I saw it on X. They're now planning to build basically a space station on the moon, or a city on the moon. What are you hearing?
Yeah. Let's jump in. So Elon Musk just delayed Mars and is now racing to build a city on the moon within the next 10 years, which is kind of wild. So SpaceX has basically pivoted near term to focus on Mars in order to build their kind of self-growing lunar city. And, the primary focus had been on Mars before, but Elon said, hey, Mars's launch window opens every 26 years. Every 26 months with a 6-month journey. The moon allows trips and launches every 10 days. So it makes more sense to kind of focus on that with dramatically faster cycles. So he basically framed this as, hey, this is a more pragmatic approach. The overriding priority for him is creating a future civilization off of Earth, and he thinks the moon is faster. So you're targeting the March 2027 for a uncrewed moon landing. And we'll see where this goes. There's been a lot of Elon news recently with the combination of XAI and SpaceX and other companies, and basically the creation of this new entity, which is now valued at $1.25 trillion. Bigger picture, space is becoming less about exploration, more about infrastructure, themes around national security and long-term civilization insurance. What were your initial thoughts, like, on him pivoting from Mars to the moon? Are you going to be taking the trip? What do you think?
I'm definitely not going to the moon, but it's funny. I've had conversations with people about this, like debating if the moon landing actually happened. Like,
oh man, we're going there. The pod is going left now.
No. People believe that, but one thing that was asked a lot is, why isn't there a space station on the moon if it's so, like, that makes the most sense? And now it's happening. So
Yeah.
it's kind of weird that we go from why aren't we doing that to now he's actually doing it. And I've heard him talk in interviews about data centers and solar panels, and all of this make way more sense on the moon, and then whatever, where temperatures are low and all those things. Data centers are way more efficient in space, or on the moon, or somewhere else, not Earth. So it makes sense. I think it makes sense. I don't know how you actually go about executing on a thing like that. It seems like we're many years away from that, but we'll see. I'm excited to see how this thing pans out.
Listen, on my end, if we can make a trip to the moon at some point where it's relatively safe, where it's like, taking an airplane flight, I'm with it at some point. It was funny. I was talking to my folks and my wife about this, and they're like, "Nah, we're not trying to do all that. We got enough going on here." But I was like, "Yeah, let's check it out. I'm definitely down to go to the moon and explore a colony up there at some point if it's safe."
Yeah, what does that mean for the future? We're gonna ruin the moon next? Or is this
Oh, for sure. It's basically we just hop to new planets and ruin them. Like, I don't think that this kind of this view of creating this new society where everything is, unicorns and rainbows. I mean, we'll just ruin the next one. I mean, it's it's a cynical view, but humans have kind of shown themselves to not necessarily take care of the planets that they inhabit.
Pause this 1 second. I gotta answer the door. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, enough moon talk. Let's talk Super Bowl. Kind of boring Super Bowl, if you ask me. The ads are not super memorable. But the ring footage about the watch party for lost pets turns into a little bit of a disaster. What did you hear?
Yeah, so here's the background here. Ring just pulled the plug on a police tech partnership, and it kind of shows how toxic AI plus surveillance has become for big tech. So recently, Ring is terminating its planned integration with a police tech company that some of you may be aware of called Flock Safety, based on this mounting privacy backlash. And this came to a head when Ring did a Super Bowl ad promoting the AI powered search party feature, which basically activates a bunch of Ring cameras to scan for in the ad. They were scanning for a lost pet, and this is a move that a lot of critics call a rightly so, surveillance nightmare. So Flock, essentially what it does is it operates automated license plate readers. It's widely used by law enforcement. I think ICE is using it. Other groups where we're having and other federal agencies where there's getting a lot of pushback for consumers and kind of using this privacy related technology. And this really marks a kind of tension point in Ring's identity, which is like, is it a friendly neighborhood doorbell, or is it some crime fighting surveillance network? And how much access do these companies actually have
Right.
to their surveillance devices? So it's kind of a blurry line here. My initial thinking, listen, I work in the tech space, so do you, T-Dub. I'm under no illusion that these companies are watching and
Right.
listening to every step. If you have a Amazon Echo in your home, you have a Nest, you have a Ring, etc., whether it be the private companies or the government, they're able to listen to everything you're saying. That's just is what it is. That being said, I think as consumers, if you don't necessarily like that, then or you have questions about exactly how the technology works, I think that's absolutely fair, and we need to be continue to push on privacy guidelines, to the extent possible. So I wasn't kind of surprised, reading hearing about this story, but I think there's just a lot more about privacy, a lot more fervor around it right
It is kind of alarming to see it. Wait a minute. I default am subscribed to this. Like anyone can use my Ring camera essentially. That's the part where I think a lot of people are like, wait a minute. Did I sign up? And they go into their Ring and they're like, well, I did. It's default on. And I think that turned a lot of people to turn off their Ring cameras and be anti technology. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But it is, I mean, it's also a really cool use of the technology. But be just from objectively, it's like, oh wow, you can unlock if something really went down, you can unlock all those cameras and use them for something. You mentioned it earlier, the missing person that's in the news. Now you used it, right? You used that feature
Yeah.
and you can go in and see what happened. It could be useful when you really need it.
Yeah, I think it'd be useful. I think it's just like if you play out all of the negative
Right.
scenarios of that type of um, access to your personal home, and like in a way that you kind of think about in the background of, oh, are these companies really watching, listening? Do they have access? And now they do. And then
Right.
there's all this entire wave to kind of go back to one of the other topics we talked about before around automatons and robots and entering the homes as well. It's even more intimate, and you can imagine in terms of access to personal conversations and just the goings on in your home. Are we going to reach a breaking point where people are saying, okay, this is too much, and begin to push back, which will inhibit progress in some of these areas? But we'll have to see. I don't know. I feel like at the end of the day, this news story will blow over and people will kind of forget about it. But it is a good snapshot of where privacy is heading, and how much access these companies have to
Yeah,
our everyday lives.
the other part with it is that we're constantly hearing about AI faking Ring camera footage, right? So
Mm,
and you don't even know what's real and what's not. That's even more hard to put your finger on. Like, hey, I don't have access to your Ring camera, but I can fake it and make it look like I do. And then what? You don't know where you stand.
I know.
Someone could turn around and tell you, look, I tapped into your Ring and just show you fake footage, and then what?
I
Um,
know.
it's really wild. It's a wild time, and maybe it is at some point. We talked about the reverse Uno card. You just pull all this tech out of your home and out of it, and you go like
Touch grass.
the grid. Yeah, you're off the grid because you don't trust any of it, which
Yeah.
like it's possible at some point.
One of the things you talked about, I think it was either last episode or the one before that, was around how important it is to, within this AI world to actually have prior like relationships with people and kind of had that human interface and that human interaction before in this new time where like AI is ubiquitous and you don't really know what's real or not. And that's really stuck with me as I was having conversations with people, not only within the privacy context, but in new age and world of work, and
Yeah.
how that all kind of translates into what's real and what's not, and how you understand authenticity. Um, it feels like it's all coming to a head.
Yeah.
All these themes.
Yeah, all of it. I mean, we talked about our New Year's resolutions. One of them was, hey, getting back to real life, avoiding the anti AI, the anti tech movement. Seems like it's getting more and more fervor around it. So something worth keeping an eye on. But that takes us to our next topic: Anthropic with 30 billion. Good God, tell me about it.
Yeah, so there's a new Claude in town. We're not talking about Jean-Claude Van Damme with the splits. We're
Yeah,
talking about Claude and Anthropic raising all this money, this $30 billion that puts their current valuation at uh, 380 billion, up from 183 billion. This is the second largest fundraiser of a private company after OpenAI. I think they raised like maybe 40 billion. So they beat them by 10 billion. But it's pretty insane. This round was led by GIC and Kotu, with General Catalyst, Excel, Jane Street, some Qatar, investment authority. Some of the kind of main players are able to invest a ton of dollars into these tech companies. It's kind of the reverse of what we were talking about in the touch grass side, which is
yeah,
that's one potential path, and the other is, hey, just keep supercharging this AI investment. And
yeah.
so, what Anthropic is doing right now, I think they did forward revenues of 2.5 billion annualized. They've been growing like 10x year over year. Their primary focus has been on enterprise workflows as well as coding, very much leaning into reliability, safety, business integrations. It's funny, their CEO is the one who's been shouting for the rooftops. All this stuff is a little crazy. We should be thoughtful about what we're doing there, which is very different than what you typically hear from these tech founders. But Claude is becoming very critical to business and workflows, and is a true competitor to OpenAI. And I wanted to talk about Claude a bit because I've been using it more since one of our last episodes in terms of co-work and just like leveraging Claude more. And it is insanely powerful, man. The way it's able to hook into some of my existing apps, pull out transcriptions, pull out data and notes that I took in Google Drive, and kind of coalesce all that into a very robust strategy, and help me think through different problems and just kind of optimizing overall workflows. It's been insane. It's kind of been mind blowing. But what do you think about this? What do you think about this raise, and what it says about the market on kind of the other side of the AI investment
I
fervor?
mean, it's still a lot of speculation, but warranted. I think it has so much potential. I used it a bunch. We talked about it in the last podcast. I still think it's not there. Still has a lot of work to do. It is very unfinished is the best way to put it. Like sometimes you got to really work your prompts to get what you want. It's not intuitive, but again, you can see the power of it working for you, doing things, going in your like doing tasks and making them really efficient. I see it. You see this thing really helping you, being almost like your day to day EA, on all of your on your personal or work computers. It's incredible. It can do calls, it can schedule things, it can look at your meetings, it can do all of it. But it's I still don't trust it. Like it's still like I let it do a few things like we talked about. Here's all the podcast information. Edit it and do that, and pull out a title and a description and a thumbnail and give me the ideas on how to market and it just fell flat on all of them. But like conceptually great, it could one day do that, but today
Yeah.
no. You still have to hold its hand through that.
I want to push you. I want to push you on that, which is when you did those prompts again. Remind me, was that just for Claude, or did you do it on
Same,
ChatGPT as
I
well?
did the same prompt on ChatGPT as well, and that one gave
And
us our winning prompt.
yeah,
How
I
we-
think
how we-
so.
yeah.
I think one of the things that I've realized is there's starting to be some distance between the different models and the capabilities. And I think that in terms of kind of like deep research, thoughtful back and forth structured analysis, writing, like very cleaned up writing, process-led thinking coding, Claude far and away the best.
Yeah. Okay.
But I've been using ChatGPT more as kind of like brainstorming partner for quick ideas and concepts. If I'm doing more actual um, like web research, and then all the creative elements. So text to image generation, text to video generation, more kind of like creative workflows. ChatGPT has been good there, and then combining the two of them has been
Awesome.
powerful. So I feel like it is interesting because I thought I've been thinking before that a lot of these models would kind of just converge over time, and that may still happen. But part of me now, after spending some more time, thinks that they may actually create these different lanes
Yeah.
of of where they shine the best, and then it's just about how to have some type of app interface to get access to the one that's the best for that particular task.
That would be unfortunate, I think, if that was the case, because then it's just more work for us. Then you need
Mm-hmm.
a based on top of them, you need to remember which then you need something else to tell you which AI to use, and it's getting ridiculous. Like, if the thing is super if it's AGI, then it's AGI. You can't be, "Oh, I mean, it's general intelligence," and right now it's not. It seems to be specialized intelligence,
Yeah.
which is not where we want to be, right? If we're talking to AGI, then the AI tools are better than anything we can do, which is just not. It's just not there. Maybe I'm just looking at it right now, and in 6 months, it's completely changed. Very possible, but for me, we'll see. I'm a little worried about that, right? Like having to use subscribe to eight. They already got me on 8 different cable and subscribe
Yeah. No. Yeah.
if I'm like, all right, I got to write something, I need this AI. I want to code something, I need this AI. And I wanted to like brainstorm, I
I
need this one. And it's like,
Yeah.
dude, come on.
No. I think you're right. I think what I would say though is depending on like me as a solopreneur, as someone in the marketing space, as someone who's kind of trying to very intelligently use the tool altogether, it probably makes sense for someone like me to spend $100 to $200 using all this stuff to really
Right.
supercharge my work. For
Right.
the average consumer, if you're just trying to like do everything right now, like pretty well, you could probably get away with ChatGPT if you want to do some like creative elements
Yep.
and help you think through some processes and help you kind of manage your schedule, stuff like that. If you're trying to like supercharge it, get to the next level, get a little fancier with the connections, the different apps, et cetera, and have a tool take it over and do some deeper research and concepts that would be like a step level above that, then yeah, I think you probably will have to use a bunch of these tools together. But that
Yeah.
won't be for everyone. Like most people would probably be okay using the freemium version
Yeah.
of ChatGPT with that.
Yeah. That makes sense. It is one of those things that we're going to have to play around with it and get comfortable with it and understand what it's capable of. But that takes time.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a while before we,
It takes time. It will be 3 months.
yeah. I mean, maybe you're right. It could be no time, but
No, no. I think that I can be somewhat skeptical. Maybe I'm more of an optimist here. I think that your gut check on like how well these things actually work is useful too. Because do I think we'll get to AGI in the end of 2 years? No. Like, and what does that even really mean?
right.
But the speed at which new models are being released, which is like every 6 to 7 months, and the step function change and how powerful they are, relative to the platforms that kind of measure, how well these LMs perform at like different tasks and like the benchmarks. That's increasing. That's increasing at like a 5x rate.
I
So
mean, let's talk about that for 1 second. AGI, what is AGI? To me, it is you type in a prompt into the tool. For example, I want a business plan for this. That thing is going to be a master business plan writer, an entrepreneur. It's going to have the knowledge to craft a really great, top notch business plan. And then you can say, give me the legal advice on this, and it will know that. And then you say, hey, I need to do accounting. It will know be a really good account. Like it'll be the best accountant you've ever had, right? It'll fit.
yeah,
To me, that is AGI, right? Where it's one prompt and it has the general intelligence, PH, whatever, graduate degree level, like expert level across the board, and it's just not there today. It's just not there.
I'll take the on the scenarios that you just talked about of like create a prompt around like a very strong business plan and give me the legal advice and then give me the accounting support. It's very close, man. Like at least in my experience, I think it gets you 90%. But for me, what AGI is okay, it's done all those things. Now go out and you're some agent and go accomplish all these tasks for me.
Yeah,
I
that'd
want to
be
create
crazy.
this business and I need to find vendors to do these certain things. And I need to set up these Stripe account, like help me execute the actual plan, go that next step, come back, check in with me from time to time. But generally you're able to kind of very, very minimal check-ins and it can complete the entire brainstorming process and then the execution of the actual work. And that be at 80, 90%. That to me,
To you, that is
boom.
the AGI. Gotcha.
To me that's what age relative to how I've been using these tools. So
Yeah, that to me is more like the agent side, but maybe we'll see. That'd be awesome. God, I hope we get there. I mean, if
yeah.
that, and God help us all if we get there.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're white collar work, I mean, listen, man, we got to learn. I've been looking at these YouTube videos. I'm like, how do I get into plumbing?
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
big facts, that's going to be the only thing that's left. Like
Like,
but there's actually a ton of work. You're talking about Tesla and robots and Optimus. A lot of physical, real world,
yeah,
robotics applications are coming super fast, and even that space ain't but so safe after a while.
yeah.
So
I mean, with ice around the corner, I'm definitely picking up landscaping and other things. Just picking up my skill set. I got to figure out how to do everything. Right?
yeah,
We need to be AGI ourselves in terms of plumbing and fixing toilets and doing all those things. We need to be efficient in ourselves. It does seem easier though than ever. You can Google, YouTube it, watch some
hmm
tutorial, and try to figure it out. But it seems easier than it's ever been in the past. That's for sure.
yeah, definitely.
Cool. All right, another big week. Appreciate your time, man. Next week, who knows? Who knows what we got on tap for next week? So stay tuned. Make sure you
Yeah,
like, follow. More to come this week in tech. All right,
yes, sir.
peace.